Good morning, good evening, hello guys, it is I, Toby King, and welcome back to another TKWF Universe Mode. We are here with the first round, or the first week of the top 16 in the World Title Tournament, and leading into the SummerSlam pay-per-view, we will crown our first World Champion. But for now, let's look at the bracket for this event. So we have Eddie Guerrero versus Christian, Samoa Joe versus Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin versus Cedric Alexander, Heath Slater versus Ali, Orton versus Eric Young, Dolph Ziggler versus AJ Styles, Velveteen Dream versus Kalisto, and of course Kofi Kingston is already moved on to the top 8 because Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are currently in their brawling feud where they don't finish each other's matches. They just don't seem to understand the concept of how a match works, because they seem to think, oh, we'll just brawl it out till the ref breaks us up. That's a match, right? But that's not how we do things in the TKWF. So they got eliminated from the tournament, which gave Kofi Kingston a free bye in the top 16. So he's already in the top 8, and in 2 weeks' time, when we do the top 8 matches, he will be challenging to move on to the top 4, and then obviously, if he wins the top 4 matches, he goes into the world title picture. So the next 2 weeks will be the top 16, or top 14, I guess you could call it. We'll be crowning all the people who to move on to the top 8. And as I just said, week 3 of this month, we will do the top 8, and then week 4 we'll do the top 4. And then at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, that's when we'll have the world title picture with the last 2 contenders in the bracket, and that's who will be our first champion, obviously. So, a total of, what? A total of 4 more matches for any of these superstars to win, and they're champion. Obviously, this is a single elimination bracket, so if you lose a match, you're eliminated. All these people have defeated one opponent already, moving into the top 16. So they're already pretty well versed in the world title tournament so far. Will they all continue to fight hard to move on, or will some people just flounder their opportunity? Who knows? We'll find out. But for now, we're kicking off the round of 16 with a match that everyone has been hyped for: Eddie Guerrero versus Christian. Oh, and Eddie Guerrero not waiting for the ref bell to start this match off. Now, Eddie Guerrero has had a long and strenuous world title tournament, or world title chase, I should say, not world title tournament, because in 2K19 he was constantly chasing the world title and trying to beat Seth Rollins, but every time the title was on the line, he just could not claim the belt for himself. So Eddie Guerrero is going to all lengths he can in this world title tournament so that he can move on to the title match and win, because he wants that title. He's been grasping and clawing for the world title, or any world title, any title in general, for so long in the TKWF. The fact that Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns are no longer a part of his brand means that he's basically, out of all the world title competitors from 2K19, he's the only one in his own brand. So, will we see new world title contenders come out of the SmackDown brand now that, most of the former world title contenders are on the Raw brand? It's going to be an interesting showing here. Eddie Guerrero is the last of the old guard, if you will, with, as I just said, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on Raw, and Dean Ambrose nowhere to be seen in the 2K20 series. So it'll be an interesting run, nevertheless. But I feel like we're going to see Eddie Guerrero move further in this tournament, but to do that, he has to go through Christian here tonight. And he seems to be doing fairly well with himself so far. But, you know, you never know. Christian is a stunning, scheming little fella. He knows his way around winning a match, so I don't know where I was going with that sentence, so I kind of like stopped halfway through and like thought, wait, what should I say? I have no idea. But he knows how to win matches from being in a losing predicament, so that's what I was trying to convey. And as we're seeing, Christian pulling stuff out of his pockets, up his sleeves, basically everything to try to stay in this match, try to stay in the world title tournament. So I'm being told that later on tonight, Johnny Gargano has something that he would like to say. So after the next match, we're going to give him a chance to say what he says. Apparently, it has to do with the Lucha house party, which, you know, we have a bit of questioning there for them because they've been breaking every rule that the TKWF has. And the match against Tommaso Ciampa at Money in the Bank pay-per-view was only the start of what Lucha House Party has planned, from what I've been told. So it's going to be an interesting run with those two. Oh! A top rope missile drop kick from Christian to Eddie Guerrero now. Christian has... Oh! Well, I was going to say Christian has firmly taken the lead in this match. But Eddie Guerrero with the reversal there, starting to come back. What a great match this has been to start off the top 16 in the world title tournament. And oh, here we go. We know what's coming now. 1, 2... And here comes the third, the Three Amigos. And we know exactly what happens after the Three Amigos goes to the top rope. Here we go. Frog splash. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And Christian has been eliminated from the World Title Tournament. And Eddie Guerrero moves on to the top 8. So, Eddie Guerrero has earned himself a break in the World Title Tournament now. Moving on to the top 8. He has a break next week, and then we will start the top 8 in 2 weeks' time. Will Eddie Guerrero be able to move on to whoever his opponent is in the top 8 and move on to the top 4? Or will he fall to whoever his opponent is in the top 8? We'll find that out in 2 weeks' time, but for now, let's continue on with the top 16. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with the next match. Moving down a tad of the bracket. So we don't want to work out who is versing who in this first week. So the way we've set it up is we're going to have the top ladder of each of the top 16 matches. So we'll find out who those four will move on. And then next week we'll do the other 8 competitors and see who the top 4 from those will move on and find out who they will be facing. Just as a little bit of like we don't want to give anyone an advantage over their opponents, so like I don't know where I was going with that, but we don't want people like having weeks to plan for their next match. We basically want it to be like, so say Eddie Guerrero's moved on to the top 8 now. We don't want him to watch the Samoa Joe Sami Zayn match and then go, okay, I know who I'm versing. I've got a week to prepare. It should be, well, I've got 2 weeks to prepare, I should say. It should be, okay, I'm watching this. Shit, I've got to face them in a week's time. I've got to prepare. You know, we just want to try and make it as spontaneous and less prepared as possible in the form of, you know, the people challenging each other. I'm not trying to say that the World Title Tournament isn't unprepared. I don't actually know what I'm trying to say. Never mind. I apologize. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with the next match in the top 16. Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. Now, an interesting look at these two competitors because Baron Corbin had probably a match of the year candidate with John Cena in the fact that him and John Cena were like brawling each other in the first round of the World Title Tournament. And surely enough, after the match they shook hands, which you don't expect to see out of Baron Corbin, is shaking hands with his opponent. But, you know, after that match he just had to agree, you know, it was a well fought match. John Cena only came short, though it wasn't without trials and tribulations from John Cena trying his best to compete against Baron Corbin. But Baron Corbin already taking the reins on Cedric Alexander, who had a tough first round in himself against EC3. You know, sure, EC3 didn't do too much in that match, and it wasn't a good showing on EC3's part in his first match back since being injured in 2K19 by The Undertaker. But it was still a tough battle. But Cedric Alexander made it look easy. Oh, and here we go with the roll-up. And a kick out immediately. But Cedric Alexander has even a tougher match ahead of him against Baron Corbin here. I mean, Baron Corbin beat John Cena, who is touted as one of the best wrestlers in the business. So, certainly one of the most popular. So, you know, comparing John Cena to EC3 as opponents, you know, Baron Corbin had the harder of the two matches, but he managed to make it work. EC3 had a hard but easy round, you know, it was hard, but he made it look easy. Oh, where's Baron Corbin going now? Oh, well, it seemed like he was just tricking Cedric Alexander to follow him outside the ring now. Oh, and here we go. The devastating power bombs. We've seen hundreds of these from Baron Corbin in the past. There's a reason the match, or the show episode with him versus John Cena was called Multitude of Power Bombs. Baron Corbin's back in the ring at a 5 count now, taunting Cedric Alexander now. He knows that he's got this match won, or he feels that he's got this match won, I should say. It's not guaranteed until Cedric Alexander actually gets held down for the 3 count. But Cedric Alexander fighting back now, trying to prove himself in this World Title Tournament. Cedric Alexander didn't have too much to do in the 2K19 series, trying to make a name for himself in the 2K20 series, as a lot of the entrants in this SmackDown World Title have been doing. Baron Corbin, one of them. If you haven't noticed, even Eddie Guerrero, I guess you could say, almost everyone in this World Title Tournament is someone who is either debuting in the 2K20 series or was underutilized in the 2K19 series and wants to make a name for himself. SmackDown is a roster of the SmackDown General Manager built this roster around, you know, people who he saw potential in but didn't get a chance to show that potential in the previous series, while Raw is basically like, I'm taking everyone who made a name for themselves in the 2K19 series and I'm keeping them on my brand, while also bringing in a few new names and old names who, you know, he saw potential in, who couldn't make a name for himself. Oh, an End of Days! Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And Baron Corbin moves on to the top 8. Well, I've got to give it to Cedric Alexander here, ladies and gentlemen. He put up a tough fight in this match. But Baron Corbin was just too good for him. And Baron Corbin knows exactly what he had to do to move on to the top 8. He is now 3 wins away from winning the World Championship. It's going to be an interesting one. But for now, let's hear what Johnny Gargano has to say. Oh, well, here comes Tommaso Ciampa. As Johnny Gargano just said, Kalisto seems to think that his Lucha Warrior days are not over. You know, Lucha Warriors was Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Kalisto. And they did so many heelish things. They put people on the injured list. They just ran rampant on TKWF in the 2K19 series. And surely enough, with the split up, Kalisto had his own army of luchas, and that led to them trying to recreate Lucha Warrior's reign of terror in the universe. But for now, Tommaso Ciampa seems like he has something to say to Gargano. So let's hear what they have to say. Well, oh my god, could we be seeing the reuniting of DIY? This is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. But for now, let's move on to our next match. Now, this match is going to be interesting for more than one way, because Eric Young moved into the top 16 because he managed to blindside his opponent and brutally beat him down and, you know, cheated his way to victory, basically, and poor Arya Daivari had no way to defend himself. Meanwhile, in this match, it's going to be super interesting, because if he tries that against Randy Orton knows those type of tactics. He used to employ them. So it's going to be an interesting perspective in that run when Randy Orton tries doing that to Eric Young. So one of these two are going to move to the top 8, and it's going to be an interesting perspective, to say the least, when we find out who moves on. But for now, this is our semi-main event of the evening. one of 2 more matches we have in the first half of the top 16. And then next week we will find out who the last 4 matches of the top 16, and we'll find out who will go up against these 4 winners in the top 8 in 2 weeks' time. But for now, we have Randy Orton and Eric Young. This is going to be an interesting match. And if I had to put my money on anyone, I'd say it'd be Randy Orton, because if Eric Young tries to go toe-to-toe with him in a fight, I feel like Randy Orton could out-wrestle him. But if Eric Young goes to his heelish tactics and trying to win, then I feel Randy Orton could out-heel him, in a way. If that's even a word that you would use, I'm not sure. But either way, it's gonna be a good match, and I can't wait to see it. But it's gonna be an interest. So far, this whole world title tournament has been interesting. You know, there's no single match in this tournament has been dull. You know, like every single match has had meaning to it. You know, even if it's been Cedric Alexander squashing EC3, Eric Young squashing Arya Daivari, there's been meaning behind it. And, you know, like, people are showing what they're going to do, well, what they're willing to do to clasp and claw and grab that world title. So, I mean, we've seen Heath Slater beat Edge, for God's sake. Heath freaking Slater beat Edge, a multi-time world heavyweight champion. I'm still at a loss for words for that, and it's been almost a month since it happened. But it looks like we're going to kick this match off without any breakouts, without any interruptions during entrances. These two are going to... Oh, I stand corrected. Orton is not waiting for the bell to kick this one off. Here we go with the back suplex. And Orton already making some strides in this match, trying to teach Eric Young a lesson, I guess, for the way he treated a new debutee in a match. Well, I said last week, or was it last week? I don't remember. I said during Eric Young's match, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Either way, I said that Randy Orton would teach him a lesson for the way that he won his match. Because Randy Orton, although he doesn't like many people, respects this business and respects the way it should be handled, and he feels Eric Young did not do that in his match. And now Orton is just dominating Eric Young here in this top 16 match. Eric Young hasn't even been able to get a single lick of damage into Randy Orton so far, and Orton has just been dominating Eric Young so far in this match. And Orton just keeping the offense on Eric Young now. Oh! Eric Young finally stopped Orton. Oh, but Orton countered once again. Orton is just too smart for Eric Young. Oh! But Eric Young finally fighting back now. But not for long by the looks. Well, we've seen what happens when you anger the Viper, Randy Orton. And it seems like Eric Young has angered the Viper, because he is just out for blood in this match. He doesn't care about how he wins this match. He just wants to win. He just wants to teach Eric Young a lesson. But Eric Young still trying to fight back. Still a very bad decision, going toe-to-toe with an angered Randy Orton. But Nevertheless... Oh, nice power slam there from Eric Young. As I was going to say, nevertheless, we're still looking at what could be a decent matchup here. And Eric Young taunting the crowd now. Giving Randy Orton time to recover is never a good decision in a match against the Viper. And this is exactly why. Here we go, we know what's coming next. And the elevated DDT. And we know exactly what this means. And we know what those pumps punching the ground. We know exactly what's happening now. And here we go. Oh, okay. He's not going for the RKO. And, oh, he went to jump for it, but Eric Young turned his back and rolled outside the ring. Smart move by Eric Young, but now he's deciding whether he should get in the ring. He knows that Orton's preparing for an RKO out of nowhere. And, oh, he looked like Orton was going for another one, but Eric Young managed to counter it. Is this Eric Young's tactic coming into this match? Oh, RKO out of nowhere! And here we go. 1, 2, 3. And Randy Orton has eliminated Eric Young and is moving on to the top 8, starting in 2 weeks' time. Well, I was about to say, it seemed like Eric Young had the strategy of getting Orton in the mood to do an RKO and then constantly countering him. But after 2 times countering it, it seemed that as though Orton was not happy and he just threw one and it landed and he won the match. I'm kind of worried for whoever moves on to the top 8 against the angered Randy Orton. Each coming match that he has in this tournament, he gets progressively angrier in his search for the world title. So I'm super excited to see what will happen in his top 8 match. But for now, Randy Orton deserves a break. He gets a week off, and in 2 weeks' time, he will come back and challenge in the top 8 for the world title. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we have an interesting main event here for this evening. And it is technically a rematch from the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, in that it's Velveteen Dream versus Kalisto. Now, for those of you that didn't see the Elimination Chamber, Velveteen Dream and his tag team partner, Oni Lorcan, also known as the Dream Team, challenged the Lucha House Party, and they lost in what was quick fashion with a roll-up pin. And that's how the reign of Lucha House Party in the tag team division began. And now he's going up against the leader of the Lucha House Party in Kalisto, who technically got a free reign into this top 16 because his tag team partner, Lince Dorado, attacked Tommaso Ciampa during what was meant to be Tommaso Ciampa versus Kalisto in the World Title Tournament. And I gave Tommaso an option. Oh no. Oh, well, Kalisto just blindsided Velveteen Dream. I was going to say I gave Tommaso the option. He could either challenge Kalisto at Money in the Bank for his rematch and try to earn the spot against Velveteen Dream here tonight, or he could challenge Lince Dorado and let Kalisto move on. And he wanted Lince, so Kalisto got a free reign, got a free round in the tournament, and now he's using his heelish tactics to hopefully, in his mind at least, hopefully, progress further in this tournament. So it's going to be an interesting perspective here. And Kalisto just beating down on Velveteen Dream. Now, the match hasn't officially started because neither of these men have entered the ring yet. But Kalisto's back in the ring now, so as soon as Velveteen in, and the ref is ringing the bell now, this match is officially underway. And here we are. And now Velveteen Dream's starting to fight back, but Kalisto's just too fast for him by the seams. Oh, a nice move there from Velveteen Dream. I don't know what that move is actually called, but it is an interesting look on the DDT. But Velveteen starting to fight back now in this match. But Kalisto is still very much on the up and up in this match. Oh! Double leg drop off the top rope springboard. Just connected. Almost could have been really bad for Kalisto, but he just connected enough to knock Velveteen down. He did injure himself a little bit in that, but didn't seem to affect him too much. And here we go with another one. Oh! No, a splash. And, oh, here we go, the Listo kick! And now he's calling on the crowd. Here we go. Lucha, Lucha. He's hyping up the crowd now. Crowd are firmly behind his side, even though he's a heel. Oh! Salito del Sol! 1, 2, 3. And Kalisto moves on to the top 8. God damn it. Lucha House Party are staying dominant in the TKWF. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been an amazing SmackDown. I hope you enjoyed. We now have half of the top 8 worked out. Next week we will find the other half and work out what our top 8 will be. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. Good afternoon. Good night. And oh, what's going on now? As if you haven't beat him down enough, Kalisto. What are you doing now? Oh, he's grabbing a kendo stick. Oh my god. And the kendo stick to Velveteen Dream. Well, guys, I should just mention, if you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe and bell if you want more content from me. And we end here with a second Salito del Sol. Good afternoon, good night, and goodbye.